This is one I think both candidates can answer in their sleep and have probably answered many times over the last few months. As the new mayor of the city, what will be your top priorities your first 90 days in office?
I would continue to be out in public, accessible to the populations, constituencies, neighborhoods that are out there. Like I said, I've spent almost 10 months knocking on doors and finding out what the issues are in people's neighborhoods and in all the wards. And so I have a comfort feeling, a comfort level of what those needs are. I will continue to do that, whether it's walk with the mayor on a monthly basis. Does anybody walk with the mayor when he was doing that on a monthly basis? I will continue that. Mayor's Night Out. I will continue bringing the City Hall resources to the public to make sure that they understand what's going on and to have that communication back and forth. And as a person that enjoys bike riding, I would also include biking with the mayor. I have two little girls that are 6 and 10. I think it's important for them to spend time with their dad. And so nights in the park with the mayor, rotating around all the parks in Riverside to make sure that people know that these are safe places. The mayor is going to be there, and that the mayor would like to share some time with them and invite them to meet his family. So that's the first 90 days, is continuing to connect with the population, with our residents here in Riverside, as well as creating jobs, being out there actively pursuing businesses to expand and to attract them to Riverside, to make sure that our residents, which are obviously, the unemployment rate is higher than the average, have an opportunity to find some employment here in Riverside.
First of all, I want to comment on what he said on the move the mayor's office to the first floor. What that is tongue-in-cheek to show that you're having open governance in there. You know, Bloomberg did that in New York. When he moved down his office to the first floor, he just took his cubicle and moved it down. There was absolutely almost no cost involved with that. It shows you're accessible. The people can lean over the cubicle and listen to your telephone conversations and know what you're doing. And you are going to be spending some time in City Hall regardless. The time you're sitting in the City Hall, you're going to have somebody overlooking and hearing what you're saying.
Yes, the first time each candidate gets a minute and a half when they do the rebuttal.
I was just using something that minute and a half to rebut what he said earlier. And the line item veto, I think that's important because there's things fiscally responsible. I think there's things that get approved that you wouldn't want to approve, and I think the mayor should have the power to do that. There's an expectation from the public on what the mayor does, and his authority shouldn't exceed what that expectation is. But as an elected official, you're expected to things that aren't even shown in the charter, and you have to respond to those particular things. But if we get back in, I think the question was, what are the top 3 priorities when you get into office? And right now, jobs and economic development is the #1 priority in the city. So the first thing I would do is set up and look at what I need to do to create jobs in here. And the first thing would be to put in place, we have a lot of unions in town here. We have a lot of pension plans in town where they take that money and they invest it into equity funds and other investments. And I would work with all the unions in town that have those pensions and say, why don't you invest a pro rata share of those pensions in Riverside in venture capital? And so if you have this venture capital available, you can go to companies and lobby them into Riverside, but in order for them to use that venture capital, they have to be located here in Riverside and open it up. If you look at the Kauffman Institute, which was founded by Eli Kauffman and Kauffman Road, they did a study. 75% of all the new jobs that are created in the United States are created from companies that are 5 years or less. So we need to nurture the new jobs here in Riverside. I think the venture capital program can do that.
For the last 5 years, I've been out connecting with businesses in my ward. I will continue to do that around the city, and on a monthly basis, bring back success stories for other businesses to understand and to know how they can expand their businesses. Partnerships with the county, with UC and with existing businesses, have expanded again and retained 1,300 jobs in our city with another 1,000 in the pipeline. We need an entrepreneurial academy in the city to grow our own talent. That means high school students, 50 a year, are going to be trained as entrepreneurs by our deans of the schools of business that I've met with at Cal Baptist and La Sierra, and then the new dean I'll meet with at UCR, to create our own entrepreneurs here so that they can create wealth and create jobs for Riversiders.
Yeah, the other thing that I would do, and this is all in jobs and economic development, and water, dealing with that, is there's a lot of things you can do to create jobs here in town. You take, for instance, the consultants that were hired for the convention center in the city are outside the city. We have local talent here that can do that work. You take the consultants for the new library downtown, are from out of town. We have local consultants capable of doing that work right here in town. And that's another thing that I would implement on there is hire local consultants, hire local talent. We have it here. We have a 12.5% unemployment rate. Orange County has an 8% unemployment rate. So we need jobs here in the city, not over there.